Brennan and I made the trek up northern cities, and we have a full 8.8 differential in the backseat of the Chrysler. So all set to go into the gray car. Hopefully everything fits good. I believe it will from the research I've done, but banking on it fitting, so we're set to go there on the way back home. Big boy rear end. Will it fit?
It's about the same, so it'll fit. Just the drive shaft might have to be lengthened.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Got him.
Look at this guy. Ooh, thread the needle.
I can't.
Brandon, how's it going under here?
It's minty.
Oh yeah. Look at that rusty guy coming right out
All
of
these
there.
rusty bolts actually breaking loose is making me excited.
Tell the people we got going on.
Remember about 30 seconds ago when I was just talking about how great everything's coming apart? I majorly jinxed us.
These
Because
bolts are like in here. I mean, it's spinning, so that's progress.
it's the bushings
but
that
the
are,
bushing won't let it come out.
the whole bushing's spinning with the bolt here, so we can't, it's like welded into the inside of the bushing.
It's a big pain in the butt. Everything else is unhooked, besides this one and this one. What was that, Brandon?
Nothing. There we go.
Would you look at that? 7.5 rear end is out. Now time for the 8.8 to go back in. Big shout out to Troy. Thanks for hooking me up with this guy. It's a nice piece, posi and all. So now we can do big Bernies. Right, Dylan? Oh my God, look at this guy. Start over. There we go. Sorry guys, I wasn't filming.
Alrighty, well, on the road today, we noticed we had a little bit of vibration on D cell and just that weird spot. So we were able to wiggle the drive shaft and too much. So we took that out, and now the output shaft follows suit. So we're taking this tail shaft cover off, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm fully expecting to see no bearing.
I hope it's something obvious like that.
Because I mean, that thing's moving like a quarter of an inch.
It's
no problem.
Yeah. That's where that goes.
That's where the bolt goes. Yes, it has fluid in it. The car is tipped forward quite a bit. All right. Don't really know what we're looking at.
I don't either,
we're
but
gonna check it out. So you seen last night we took the rear end out of this thing and we had a lot of fun. It was a good time hanging out with everybody and doing that, but we did not get the 8.8 back or in it. So you can see it's sitting right here, and the issues that we have are these bushings are basically welded to these bolts. So I can no way to get the lower control arm off. And yes, we can cut it. Yes, we can do all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be a better setup if it has an aftermarket control arm in it. So Brandon, he's from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and in Davenport, there's a guy selling 2 Teams the adjustable ones for $100. So we're gonna pick those guys up, and then we can at least set the pinion angle to something that's relatively legit. And I think you can see in some of them videos too that I was talking about how much end play the transmission output shaft has, because you could physically wiggle the drive shaft in there. And I'll drop some clips of that in if I didn't already. But that I thought was caused by a bad bushing in the tail shaft, but it's not. After talking to Laverne's a transmission expert, especially the TH400 expert. He said that's how they are supposed to be, and what supports it is the yoke. But I have the 5-inch or 4-inch tail shaft housing, and I have the truck yoke. So the yoke is way too long, which means most of it is unsupported, because if you look here, this line, that's how far it's in the transmission. So all this right here is all dangling out in no man's land, which is too much. So I believe that's where our wild vibration is coming from, and if it was coming from anything else, it would most likely be pinion angle. So fixing that will be 2 birds with 1 stone. But unfortunately, the drive shaft is now 2.5 inches too short. So I will have to get it either lengthened or have a new one made for it, which definitely blows, but just kind of is what it is, I guess. So that's what we're gonna do with that. I'm going to come back this week and paint the rear end just to make it look nice. But then also, I was talking about how we were having some shifting issues in the last video, how the transmission's kind of weird. And I think I adjusted the vacuum modulator and changed some of that, and it's better. But I think what the main problem is that it has a loose converter, obviously, for something that's gonna make 700, 800, 900 horsepower. And it's set up with the valve body. It's a stock valve body for something with a very, low stall in it. So basically the converter's eating up all the shifts, and then without having a manual valve body, it just kind of is doing what it wants, and you have really no control of what gear you're in and when you're in it, because you can put it in 1 and then click it immediately into 2, and you cannot tell any single difference on RPMs or anything. And it seems like the car is it's just like revving, just doing nothing, and that's because of the converter. So it's eating up that tight shift. It's eating up all that. So if you put a manual valve body in it, it should just be 1, 2, 3, just like the red car is, only the red car's 1, 2. But it should make it drive like a regular car more, where it does not drive like a regular car at all now. You kind of have to pick and choose how to get it into gear. So hopefully with the new manual valve body, I can do all that work in the car, because it will be an absolute no-go if we have to pull this motor out to do it. So, or to pull the trans, because there is absolutely no room in the firewall. So it will not happen. No way. You have to rip the whole thing apart, which would suck big time. So hopefully I can do that in the car. I already found the one to buy. It's an ATI Speed. They say there's nothing that needs to be done to the inside of the transmission. It's just a couple this, a couple that, put this in, do that, tighten it down, put the shit back in, and fill it with fluid. So hopefully it's as simple as they make it sound. If not, that's gonna blow. But all in all, this is things that the gray car needs anyway, so we might as well shoot to have it ready by Florida, because the thing, it runs pretty good. I tuned it a little bit on it yesterday. I didn't film any of it just because it was kind of a pain, but it should be good. But hopefully next weekend we can get this wrapped up. Then I can show you some clips of us out driving around. It'll have posi now, so hopefully I can lay into it a little bit and make some boost. But yep, we're kind of just figuring shit out. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. I'll try to make a video here in the next couple of days too about doing some more red car stuff, and that's about it. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, lots of videos coming. Sick Week's gonna be badass. I'm gonna post a lot. I hope to do a video every single day of every day, the driving and the racing and all the stuff that's gonna be going on with that. So make sure to stay in tune for that stuff, and we'll see you in a couple days.